Hey, Tony here at Random Adventures 2.0. What are we doing? I don't know. Oh boy. Well, I think we're gonna hammock hang right here. I think I got our spot. Man, it's cold. My fingers are frozen. But it's raining. We got sleet. And I think that's the perfect weather for a video, right? All right, so let me get the backpack off and then I'll tell you more about where we're at and what we're doing. All right, here we go. So, honestly, the first thing I need to do is I need to get a tarp up, and I'm going to use that tree and that tree, and we're going to deploy those Nama claws. But this time I'm not going to run a continuous line. I've actually got two separate ones to use so that we can attach one there and then one over here and then do it that way. All right, let me get that set up. All right, so I got the tarp up now. I did the single Nama claws, one to each tree. I'm thinking I like the other way better with the continuous because I can tie the center of this tarp up. So you can see it's kind of sagging, and I should have got it up a little bit higher, but I want to keep the wind out because it's supposed to be like 10 degrees to 15 degrees, or not, mile-an-hour winds tonight. I think there's a 9 to 15 mile-an-hour winds. So it's going to be cold. I've got the flaps dropped down, but the only problem is I'm going to have to hit it every once in a while to keep getting all the snow off. And that's going to weigh it down as well if I don't do that. So I'm squatting down right now once I get my camp chair and the hammock set up. But I got the backpack underneath the tarp. I got it right here. And you can see it's all wet and snowy already. All right, so burn. So that snow's blowing in from the end here. So I should have set up a little bit different, but I can't move it now, so I'm stuck here. So I'm just gonna have to move my stuff down that way. But let's get that hammock hung up, and then we'll get our chair and all of our other stuff. But man, that wind is blowing. Keep it up out of the snow, that's for sure. So camera work's not going to be the greatest today. You can see a snow collecting on the top of the tarp. All right, so I'm using the cam jam here to get my hammock adjusted. All right, so I'm sitting in the hammock. So this rain jacket doesn't have any pockets, so I'm going to slide it down a little bit and stick my hands inside here. So I got the tripods kind of holding the tarp up there a little bit, so it's going to move around because as the wind blows it, the tarp moves. But yeah. Oh, that was brutal. That was brutal. All right, but the hammock feels good. I might have to raise it up a little bit. I'm a little close to the ground. So yeah, definitely gonna raise it up a bit. Just a tad. Not, I don't want to be laying on the ground in the morning. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not too far up in the mountain. But it's a nice group of pines right here. And like I said, it was icy getting up in here. I used the trekking poles, so thanks Johnny Torres for those trekking poles. They're working out great. They're sitting over there in the snow up against a tree. But I've got to get my hands warmed up, and then and I think a way to do that is once I get seated here for a little bit, I'm going to make a cup of coffee. I got a new way to make coffee. So Emma Brown sent over a grinder and things. I'll show it to you here in a little bit. But let me get warmed up, and I'll bring you back on in a bit. Yeah, so once I get all set up with the chair and everything and I can sit down, then I can concentrate on getting warmer. But the big thing right now is to get camp set up, to get situated, get everything where I need it, to get ready to eventually do our cooking and then climb in bed. It's going to be an early night tonight because it gets dark at 4:30 and it's supposed to snow all night long. I thought it was going to be from snow and then turn into rain. So I'm a little surprised that it's actually snowing this long into the afternoon, but hey, we're in the mountain and we're at a higher elevation than where I had checked the weather at earlier. So, well, we might get snow all night long. That'll be interesting. All right, let me get this chair set up. All right. So we got the chair all set up. So you can see I've got the tarp, got the trekking pole holding the tarp up on this end, just to kind of give it a little slope so that everything doesn't collect in there. But let me get the table set up and then we'll start doing our other stuff. I got to pull the jacket, my puffy jacket in and get the rain cover. I want to get that over everything, especially the backpack, because there's snow that's, because of the wind, that's just kind of creeping in underneath the tarp, and it's getting all over my stuff. And when that melts, that's going to be wet. It's definitely going to be wet. But the sound of that snow just hitting that tarp's nice, 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 nice. We got time for sitting around later. We gotta get this table set up. All right. You just gotta stay diligent. But if it's snowing all night, man, we're gonna be doing that a lot. I could drop the sides down a little bit more. All right, so I am gonna get all of our pots and pans out because I gotta get to that coffee. And it's at the bottom of the bag because I packed that in last because I figured that's what we'd be having last or needing last. So I've got an extra fuel tank. Not sure if we're gonna need it. Yeah. And I got everything wrapped up in here, my schmog, and I think position it better. All right. So one thing I'm gonna do is probably get this baseball cap off and get my schmog on, at least to protect my neck, because I'm getting wind coming in. So I'll put the schmog on, I'll get my neck cap on that I usually sleep in, so I'll get that on, kind of get warmed up a bit. Maybe zip this up too. When it's cold, your fingers don't work. They get really tight. All right, let me get the schmog out. All right, I got my hat. Get that one off, get the schmog on. Now I'm just gonna use this as a scarf. So, get that wrapped around here like this so I can pull it up across my face. All right. Get it tucked in here a little bit. I just want it around my neck and my ears a little bit. Give that a zip. Find the zipper. There it is. That fingers don't want to squeeze. All right. Yeah, and then get the knit hat on. All right. That's going to be a little warmer than that baseball cap. Oh, yeah, a lot warmer. Oh, because that wind's blowing, I'll tell you. It's blowing hard. Well, not hard, but it's been up to 15 miles an hour, I believe, blowing already. So let's get our coffee made, get some warm liquid in us. I got to get all these pots undone, and then might as well leave that out for our dinner too. So stick that in there, stick this on the table, because that's where our burner is. It's down in there. And we've got a different kind of meal that we're going to make tonight, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. It's a new company that reached out to me. I showed it to you on this past Sunday Night Live. We talked about it, but I'll show you that here in a second. Let me get the rest of this done. Okay, so this is that travel mug that Emma Brown gave us. It's a French press. So I'm going to get this pulled out here. We got to grind our beans, but you can see it's a micro filter that goes in here. So you put the hot water in here. So we got our water going. And warm the hands up for a second. So you might notice there's not going to be a lot of camera work today. So just saying, there's not going to be a lot of moving of the camera and different things. But this is good training for being out in the elements on the Appalachian Trail. You know, if I do get a chance to hike that, I think this will be a good experience for that. Okay, so this is a measuring jar. This goes on the bottom side of this Vivim. So this is the Vivim, and this is a grinder. I got to put beans in there. So this screws onto the bottom to capture all of your grind. Now there's 6 different grinds that you can get off this. I don't know. I think I might have taken a picture of it because I was doing a thing going all 6 of them. But here's what the grinds look like at each one. I don't know how good it is. I forget if I did it or not. But yeah, so that just screws onto the bottom. But you can see the dial. That number 1, that's Turkish espresso. I do like that one, but I'm going to go to number 2, which is just espresso. So I've got to get the beans out, and we're storing all of our beans in here. She sent along this. Now this was missed on Mail Monday because there was 4 items, but only 3 of them showed up. But look at this. Whole beans. So we're going to put those beans right into the top of our, and this is going to be a little tricky. About pour them into the top. Yeah, there we go. So we got them in the top. I thought it was going to be harder than what it was. All right, so then there's this crank right here. So this crank goes right on the top, just like that. Isn't that nice? So then what we do is we, this should warm me up. I got to get my thumb moving around to hold it. So look at that. So you crank it, and then you see the grinds going in the bottom. All right, so we're gonna get about it. We're gonna go up to about the 4, so that's gonna be a lot of grinding. That should warm me up. Now, if you go up to number 6, it's like probably 8 turns, and you'll have 4 tablespoons because that's a real thick grind. But when we're doing espresso, it's real fine. So it looks like there's a lot in there, but there's not. Bang it down. So we're not even up to 1 teaspoon yet. We got a lot of cranking. But so there's the little coffee bean. I like eating them by themselves sometimes. Yeah. So oh yeah, we got 4 tablespoons there. So you just remove the jar right from the bottom of it, and then we're gonna pour that right into our travel mug. And we ground a little bit more than 2 tablespoons or 4 tablespoons, so that's fine. So now I've got that in there, and we're gonna pour our hot water in next, and then that's gonna sit for 3 minutes, and then we're gonna do the old press. So this is called press by Bobble. So Presse by Bobble. And I'll just pour the water in. Did I put the perfect amount of water in or what? Okay. So yeah, right there is that coffee. So all those grinds are in there. Then we take the top with that microfilter, and see how it's got that rubber band around it? We're just gonna place that right on top. Give it a little bit of a press down. All right. And then you can see that microfiber in there, or microfilter. It let a little bit of the bubbles up through, but we're gonna let that sit for a minute and do its thing. In about 3 minutes, we'll press it down, and then we'll be ready to drink it. All right, that's been sitting about 3 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and give it a press down. And all the coffee's moving to the top. Oh yeah. And you get that the brown, like a froth that comes up on the top of it. From like a freshly ground bean, you get that that brown froth. I don't know what it's called, but there's a term for it. Pressed it down. Ah, man, does that look good? Let me show you. Yeah, so you can see it right there. Then there's this little rubber top right here. So this is a travel top. You just put that on the top of it and seal it down. That'll hold in the coffee and the heat. Ooh. So that's a neat little coffee maker. So it does a travel mug. Oh, that's hot. That's good. So I'm going to sit here. It is starting to slow down as far as snow goes, so that's a good thing. But I still hear it hitting the tarp. Clean that tarp off one more time here before we start cooking dinner. But yeah, what are we having though? Let me show you. But it's a neat concept, and it's a fairly new. And I only say a new concept because they say join the backcountry cooking revolution, where it's not using a bag, like not cooking in the bag. It's actually cooking in a pot. So they actually have more than just this. They've got a bag of other stuff that you can add right to it. The idea is that it's a healthier meal. And we're going to have this chicken coconut curry, and it is 550 calories. I'll show you some of those. I'll put pictures up different places while I'm talking about it here. But this is RightOnTrek. So that's the name of the company, RightOnTrek. You can see it right down there on the bottom from the picture. But it's next generation backcountry meals. Says it cooks fresh in 7 minutes. So I did bring a pot that we can cook it in rather than cooking in the bag, because that's what it's all about. That's what they're trying to do. And this says it will feed one tired, hungry explorer. Well, I'm not tired yet, but I am hungry, and I am an exploring. But I'm also cold, so that'll be good to get this cooking. So we'll get our spoon, get all that. We'll get our pot out and get our water going, and then, yeah, we'll be eating. Like I said, give it a good slap every once in a while. Get all the snow off. But I am going to have to get up and get that corner. All right. All right. So we want to bring about 10 ounces of water to boil. It says on the instructions. So we're going to do that. And that's about what I got in this bottle. I think it might be 11. So I might stop it a little short. So I got a little bit left in there. As we did our coffee. Now we're gonna bring that to a boil. It says bring that to a boil. Then what you want to do is add the meal. So you boil the water first, then you add the meal directly to the pot, and then we give it a stir, and then we wait a little bit. So I'm gonna finish reading the instructions. But first thing I gotta do, I want to cover that pot. Yeah, okay, so here's the instructions. It says how to cook chicken coconut curry. It says bring to boil 10 ounces of water, turn down the heat, add the contents of the package into it, then cook for about 3 minutes, stirring occasionally, all right, and then enjoy. So, and then we've got to add all these to, which we'll do that after it cooks, but we're gonna first get our water boiling here for about 7 minutes, then we'll turn it down, and then we'll add our meal. So one of the things that I was reading about this meal is, rather than cooking it in the bag, you're gonna cook it in a pot. Now you're gonna have a pot to clean. That's probably one of my least favorite things, is to clean a pot, but it's a whole new revolution that's happening in the backpacking arena. So, and it is, sounds like they are mixing a lot of healthy ingredients in here too. I was reading down the list there. Very good. So, yeah. I can't wait to taste it. All right, so I got this opened so you can see that there, and then they sent along a separate pack of chicken that's in there, along with one of those oxygen absorbers, so you should always remove that. That's not part of the meal. So, but look at that in there. Oh boy, that looks good. And then that's pretty cool that they pack the chicken separately, and they give a nice little portion there too of chicken. Usually the stuff's just mixed in with it and you don't really see it. So you can see I moved the pot, moved it down closer to the ground because I ended up knocking it over from the table there when I was checking it. All right. This is a kind of a big pot for on top of this little burner here, so I'm gonna hang on to it while it boils. Yeah, I've got that other burner. I was gonna bring that one instead of this little one here. I was gonna bring that one that old Kraken Day that got us. That one fires up, and it's got a bigger platform to set things on. Especially knowing I was gonna be cooking this meal in this pot, I should have probably brought that one along. Yep. I think we're almost boiling. Yeah, it's steaming. Steaming, but not boiling yet. Soon. Alrighty, so we just added all of the chicken coconut curry, everything that was in this first pack here, right into the bowl. Let me give you a look-see in there. Alright, so we have already stirred it once. We're gonna stir it again. It says to stir occasionally. Alright, so it's pretty much done. I just gotta add those cashews. They got cashews. What else they got in here? They got a little packet of peanut butter. I'm gonna put that in there too. And they got a little packet of hot sauce. And it's all in this little Ziploc bag that comes with it. Let me get that. Can't get it out. Yeah, and a little hot sauce. So we're gonna put all that in there before we take our first bite. Alright, so the last things is this salted cashews. So we'll pour them in too. Alright, and then we'll stir it all up and we'll give it a try. So it says it's made in small batches in their facility, and it's all on the package. I think I'll put the picture up again. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I just gotta get this. My feet are cold. All right. All right, so it's in there. Let me get it all stirred up. As cold as it is out. Let's see if it cooled it off enough for me to take my first bite. All right. Well, right off the bat, it smells very good. Now, these are a little bit more expensive than the Mountain House meals. Not that much more, though. But one of the things I was thinking is, if I go out and I'm going to put the effort into going out, hey, and when I eat, I'm going to eat something good. All right, so we'll see how good this is. This is the chicken coconut curry. See those cashews, that chicken, them cashews. Oh, that looks good. Very, very good. All right. Okay, that's good. Coconut, I can taste. I can taste the coconut. Definitely the cashews, the peanut butter. The chicken, I just got a chunk of chicken. Oh boy. That cashew adds a neat little flavor to it. You'll be chewing the rice and stuff, and then all of a sudden you'll hit a cashew. It's like, bam! Good. All right. I'm going to work on eating this. And before it gets dark, I want to get this in me. Really, it's warming me up already. I'm starting to feel it. All right. Good thing. Yeah, more so rain than snow now. So it's coming down, but it's not real hard. But it's supposed to do this all night long. So we're pretty good here under the tarp. Like I said, I think once it turns to rain and all rain, it'll slide off of our tarp a little better. Just the snow was sticking on it, and I had to bang it every once in a while. But for the most part, it's good. It's good. All right. So it's definitely getting dark. I got to pull everything in, make sure it's not going to get wet. It's feeling like the wind's calming down a little bit, so I hope that's the case. Alrighty, so yeah, that Right On Trek was a really good meal. I liked that. So you can see it's getting very dark, or not very dark, but it's starting to get dark. So I'm gonna have to pull out the Olight bulb, but I've got to get things cleaned up here and start packing stuff away so I don't leave it lay around. So kind of do a little bit of camp chores. All right, talk to you in a bit. Alrighty, so it's starting to slow down. I'm feeling rain though, so I've still got this raincoat on. So look at those pines, really pretty. But right back in there is where we're at. So there's our hammock and our tarp. So we're just inside these pines. But look at that, isn't that beautiful? Man, I love snow, I love ice, I just don't particularly like being cold. All right, so let's make our way back into camp. So you can see I've got things set up in there pretty good. There's our chair at the one end. The wind was coming from this side over here and blowing in, so I ended up moving everything over this way. You can see our tarp sagging in the middle. I'm gonna have to do something about that, but I think the water will run down and come off. I saw it dripping off the end here, but yeah. All right, so I can't wait to crawl into the hammock, get warm. My feet are cold. Yeah. So you can see I'm I'm actually not laying down in the hammock right now. I'm sitting up. My head would go, I think I'm going to sleep with my head at that end and then my feet at that end later. But I do have the top quilt over my knees and over top of my upper part of my body. Got my hands underneath of it getting warm. But you can see it's definitely darker. So sunset was at 4:30 something. But now I'm sitting in the hammock just relaxing. Yeah. And you can hear the rain and snow wintry mix hitting the tarp. That's always a good sound. Boy, that puts you to sleep fast. I'm gonna be quiet for a second so you can hear it. Yeah, that's nice. So you can see I got the hat on, I got the schmog up around my chin, my neck. I still have the raincoat on because that does have a hood on it too. So I'm thinking I might go ahead and leave this on instead of getting the puffy and putting it on. I can just zip this raincoat up. And this raincoat is nice and warm too. So yeah, not that any rain's gonna come in, but there's still a breeze. There's still a breeze coming through, and yeah. That's nice. Sounds good. Every once in a while, I just lift up on the tarp. Bang it. Yeah, so it's all good. All right, so I think I'm going to sit up for about another hour. There's a couple things that I want to check out on YouTube here. There's a couple of my friends put out some videos, so I'm going to check those out and see what everybody else is doing. All right, I'll bring you on in a little while. See ya. Alrighty, so I'm climbed into the hammock. So I'm laying in here. It's still raining, a snow mix. It's about 9:45. So I'm going to go ahead and get some shut eye for a while, and if anything happens throughout the night, I'll bring you on. But I'll probably get up at least once in the middle of the night and let you know what's going on. All right, lights out. You can see working the phone and the light and everything, and it's a little tough sometimes so you can see me, but all right, so I've been sleeping for about 4 hours, so I think last time was 9:45. Yeah, so as you can hear, it's still raining, or a wintry mix. I just got up a little while ago and I hit that tarp again. It was starting to build up a little bit with some that freezing rain. So it's all clear. All right, back to bed. All right, later. Yeah, it's still that wintry mix. Yeah, it's gonna be fun packing up in the morning. Yeah, you can hear it hitting the tarp. Oh, it's sagging down. I got a big puddle there. Yeah. Every once in a while, got to do that just to get it all emptied out. Yeah, I figured before I climb back in the hammock, I'd show you how the snow is. I got it all brushed off now, but boy, it was really weighing it down. I got it tied to the tree over there. I just dropped it down to a lower branch, but that's underneath, and you can see I got the trekking pole on the chair just holding up the middle there, but yeah, we got a good slope on this side. But I wasn't expecting it to snow this much more. But it's really snowing. It's starting to come down. Ah, cold. All right, I gotta get back in there. Sorry about the camera shaking. I was just out working on the tarp. I dropped the sides down because it started snowing again, and the tarp was really getting weighed down. Even if I had it sloped, it'd be sticking to it. Yeah. Now I got the trekking poles holding it up on that side. Yeah, but I gotta get warm. I gotta get back in this hammock and get under the top quilt. All right, talk to you later. See ya. Yeah. Not good. It's a steady, steady, steady rain. And while I was sleeping, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that end of the hammock is wet. And that's right where my shoulders were. So it's a good thing I left this rain jacket on because, well, maybe not, but it kept me from getting wet. But yeah, so the tarp, I got it fixed now, but it sank down my little tripod or my trekking pole. It fell off of the chair and that let that end drop. It's because it got too much water and it pulled up and dropped down. So yeah, this tarp is a little short for this hammock, I think. But yeah, but that's wet there. It's 6:20 right now, 6:25. Yeah, it's a lot of just steady rain. It's mostly rain now. It's not snow. But yeah, I was gonna get up this morning and I brought eggs. I can turn you around. Yeah, let's turn this off. One more. Yeah. Where's my old light? Yeah, I still got my headlamp on. Yeah, I brought eggs. I brought some other stuff to make for breakfast, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna tear down as soon as it gets light enough, and then head out. This thing here is just soaked. I don't even want to lay back down in it, just because I don't want to get wet. Because wet and cold, not a good combination. But if I was out, I'd have to deal with it. You know, if I was out for several days, I'd have to deal with this. Figure it out. But fortunately, I'm only out tonight. So, and it's morning already. I've got about an hour until sunrise. All right, so I'll bring you back on in a bit. All right, so I got my pack cover over my chair because my chair got a little wet too throughout the night. Just the mist, fog, the dampness, everything just blew underneath it here. It would have gotten me wet anyhow. Probably not as wet as that leak from the tarp. But I've had this hand warmer for a couple hours now, and maybe since about 3 o'clock I cracked it open, and I've had it in my pocket. It's been working good, and yeah, I'm sitting down here. You can see I got the hammock all packed up and the under quilt and the top quilt's all in the bag. The only thing I got yet is the tarp, but I'm gonna wait till it gets a little lighter out. It's getting pretty light now, but still got a little bit of time yet. My hands are cold, so I'm warming them up. Just gonna sit here for a bit. Thought about making some coffee, but nah. I'm just ready to get out of here as soon as I can and get packed up it's been enjoyable. Um, that sounded it's been enjoyable. No, it has been pretty fun. So it's neat to experience different climates and see how you handle it, right? So I don't want to call this a fail, but now I know what to do when it's raining. I'd be a little bit more cautious with the tarp. Make sure it's got slopes, the drip lines, that if it lets loose and it comes down, it's not going to leak into the hammock. Because if I had to go for days, just knowing the weather right now, I wouldn't be able to dry it out. No, it's not good. Yep. So I'm learning. All right. So I'll tear this down in a little bit, the tarp, and then we'll talk right before we head out. All right. See you in a bit. All right, so I'm all packed up, all ready to go. I gotta buckle this strap here, but hey, I wanna say thanks a lot for coming along. I am cold with my hands, boy, putting that tarp away. It's all wet and icy, so I gotta take that home and get it all dried out, all right? So hey, you know what time it is. Let's score that music. All righty, so thanks a lot for coming along. Remember, it's just one adventure at a time, and Tony 2.0 out. All right, we'll see ya.